Hey everybody, welcome to Off the Hustle. We got an amazing guest with us today.
Yes, sir.
Actually, I'm gonna let you do the credits this time, Amari.
I know, man. So we got a great entrepreneur, brand builder, a powerhouse within his own self, and this is what he does for a living. He builds powerhouses.
For a living.
Yeah, man. We have a great friend of mine. We go back to college days. Met this brother through a good fraternity named by the name of Omega Psi Fraternity Incorporated. So this, before I give out his name, I kind of already gave you a few hints already. For those that know him, he goes by the name of Micah Baisden, but he also goes by the name of Mr. Powerhouse ATL. This man has gone through the trenches of building not just a personality for himself, for his fitness, personal training business, but he's built a brand for others to start their own opportunities for themselves as well. He's based here in Atlanta, Georgia, but he resides from the 229.
Albany, Georgia.
Albany, Georgia. For the people listening across the land and across the world, you guys may not be familiar with 229, but 229 is a great place to, that has started careers and healthy lives for so many people from the country part of South Georgia. And this man, I've seen him, not just be a great personality, but be a strong example for so many people to follow in academics and building their character. Of course, fitness and athletics, but definitely just being the true version of who you want to be as you go through life. So, Mr. Micah Baisden, everybody.
What's going on, old man? How we doing?
Man, I'm blessed to have you here, bro. It's been, I think we met in college around like 2012, 2013.
Man, time flies.
Yes, it's been coming up on 10 years now.
Yeah.
And within coming up on a decade, we've all gone through our trials and tribulations of finding our lanes in life, especially within our professional careers. And for you, it's resided within fitness endurance, programs, but it didn't always start like that as it was. So for you, how did that program really just, to kind of give our listeners some of the, intricacies about how your humble beginnings started out? How does that look like for you?
Well, I started with myself. I think the best journey or the best investment that anybody can make is within themselves, and whatever fashion you see fit, you have to invest in yourself before you can fully invest in others. So around that time, 2010, I was probably the biggest I ever been. I was 282 pounds on a 5'7.5" frame. Living life. I was in college. Went to college at 17, so around this time I was 18, 19-ish, whatever. And I was just unhappy because I never thought I would see myself in the mirror looking like that. Not to everybody else, they were like, oh, you straight, no? But to me, I wasn't where I knew I could visibly see myself or where I wanted to be. So one day I just woke up and said enough was enough. All this gonna stop today. So I went cold turkey, and it was May 2010. And I went back to Albany, pulled the calendar out, and I was just marking off days. Now at that time I wasn't certified in personal training or nothing like that, so I ain't no nutrition like that. But I knew what got me here at that 282. So whatever got me there, I cut all that out. So all the extracurricular activities, all the eating food, all different times a day, I stopped. So I went for 104 days straight. I counted them every day. I worked out 3 times a day for 104 days straight. Now that's pretty insane to a normal mind, but I was building myself, so it wasn't insane. This is for me and nobody else. And I went back to football camp in August. I came back at 235. So my coaching staff and players were like, "Bro, what the hell you done did from May until August, in which you dropped almost 50 pounds?" So I'm telling everybody what I did or whatever. And at that time, I was playing offensive line.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly, right? They had me at center. Which was cool, but I ain't want to be no center.
Of course. Yeah, man.
So 235, they moved me to fullback and middle linebacker. So the semester that came in, and I'm still working out. I'm still in tune with myself or what I wanted. So at that time, I was in the stadium at Fort Valley, and people would see me work out on my own. And usually when I work out, I'm by myself and I have my AirPods in. And at that time, we still had headphones.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I zone out. I don't care what y'all doing. You know, leave me be. I'm in a space. So it was 3 young ladies. They walked up to me and they had knew me the semester before when I was bigger. So they was like, you know, Mike, what you did? So I was telling them what I did, and they was like, you know, can we work out with you? And I was real hesitant at first because when it's my time, and I really don't like to stop my time in my workouts. But I was like, cool, y'all can, but I'm not going to slow down. So if you can keep up, just do the best you can do, and just try to keep up with me, I guess. Cool. So next thing you know, it's me and 3 girls working out in the stadium. Well, you know, guys, when guys come to the stadium and work out, you got 3 girls and a guy, they start looking. So then the guys come over, like, man, you know, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? We see you doing X, Y, Z. You see the girls listening to you, say, can we join? You know? So I didn't see the piece of the puzzle start to fit itself. You know, I'm just saying, okay, cool. I guess I'll let y'all work out with me. And so they were really listening. Like, I'm 18, 19 years old at this time. And before I knew it, it had got up to like 20 to 30 people in the stadium. Now, of course, it was free. I wasn't charging about it. I ain't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I knew what works for me. And I saw it start to piece itself. So I was at the top of the stadium stairs one workout, and I was talking to myself in my head. And I was like, you know, I can do this forever.
Yeah.
I really can do this forever. Like, really just working out. I really love this. So I put that thought in the back of my head. Kept going. So that was the foundation of it all. PowerHouse started in 2016. Naturally, I graduated in 2013, and I graduated as an educator. I was in the education program. So I started out teaching. I was teaching and coaching, you know. And what I was doing and what I was praying for wasn't coinciding with one another. So I was living the teacher and coach life, but I was praying to do what I want to do. You know, something that I can love, and it ain't working. You know. Cool. So 2016, I was just like, jump. let's see what happens. You won't know until you try.
Yeah.
So November 1st, I stopped teaching September 15th, 2016. I started training November 1st, 2016. Like, I had my LLC the top of the year, January 31st, 2016. I already had the LLC, but I wasn't doing nothing with it. It was just sitting. Just sitting on the desk. I started actively training November 1st. A guy gave me an opportunity named Ted. He gave me an opportunity in his gym, told me, you know, these are the rules. So he was like, $500 for rent, first of the month. I was like, cool, all I need is a space. Everything else I do on my own.
Yeah.
I don't need no help. I don't need this is mine, I do it. So I was running, I still stay in the Tucker and Doraville area. So that's North Georgia, North Atlanta.
Correct.
So I'm running to Fayetteville to train people. I was still trapping out of Planet Fitness and LA Fitness. I'm still sneaking out. You sneak workout with somebody, but you really training them, but you don't want to get kicked out at the same time.
Yeah.
I was that guy.
Hey, make it happen.
Yeah, by any means.
So it's funny that you mentioned that, because I was thinking back and it reminded me of a quote that if you find something you love that you'll do every day for free, that's probably what you should be doing.
Yeah.
And it seemed like you found your thing, but originally you didn't think, oh, I can make money doing this. You were just thinking, I like doing this. When did that switch to, you know what, I'm good at this and I can make money? When did that happen?
I've always been a believer of you can turn any passion into $1. You just gotta keep pushing it long enough so somebody believes what you're telling and will buy it. That's what's always been to me. I mean, everything is about money, whether you love it or not. The switch happened November 1st, 2016, when you actually have to pay rent. When you start having bills. Like when you start having invoices and bills, you know, hey, I got to meet this quota because I got something to pay in order to keep your dream going. Mm-hmm. Then you find within yourself different ways to make it happen. I think that's one of the richest contributions you can give yourself when you're starting a brand or a business. Learn how to make it work. Just learn, right? My perfect example I like to use is a GPS.
Yeah.
Regardless of what address you put in, I don't care if you detour left or right, nobody GPS ever told you to go back home.
So that's from point A to point B.
It don't care, you can exit on the wrong, dang, I missed my exit, dang, I turned the wrong way. It's still going to find you a way to get to where you say you want to go. If a man-made machine can do that, how much more can a God-created human do that? Just find a way. It's never a dead end or just a detour. You just got to learn how to maneuver. Nothing's really easy, and if it was always easy, everybody would do it. Being an entrepreneur, you learn a lot about yourself. You learn about your strengths, your weaknesses, and the things that you're weak at. You either make them strong or you find somebody that's strong in it to help you out. So, yeah, that switch had to happen fast. No brand of business gonna move without a dollar. So, you know, but it's easy. It's easy when you're passionate about it. You just have to be consistent with it. And a lot of people miss that. They just want to pick up their passion and put it back down when they get ready. You treat it like a hobby. You're gonna make hobby money. You know what I'm saying? You treat it like this is what you love and this is legit to you. Then be consistent with it. And it'll come. It's not gonna come fast, but it's gonna come. So
yeah, man, I like that. And for you, of course, your program goes by the name of Mr. Powerhouse Fitness.
Yeah, Powerhouse Sports Academy.
Yeah, right. Powerhouse Sports Academy, right. So how did you get to that name?
We was in me and my best friends, Justin and Nick, when we was deciding at the time what the name of Powerhouse was what the name of the business was going to be at that time. So we was having a conversation about college football. And everybody knows me, my favorite team is UGA. So we always popping out with UGA about what the Bulldogs going to do that season, so forth and so on. So Nick was leaning back in the chair, and he was like, well, how you feel about Alabama? And before I knew it, I had blurted out, I said, oh, that's a powerhouse. And then we both looked at each other. We was like, that's it. So Nick set up on the state website to see was it available in Georgia, and so happens it was available in Georgia.
That's cool.
So we ran with it. So the name just kind of comes, like you just, you know.
I kind of feel like Nick, your homeboy Nick, was kind of like giving you the alley-oop, like he
I guess indirectly, like you ain't gonna get it on your own, so here you go.
Yeah.
So it worked out. So yeah, that's how we got the name. Just casual talking, just letting it flow.
Yeah, man. And I can tell you, so one thing, so everyone who's listening, watching right now, I know I initially met you, of course, through our association with our fraternity. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I definitely had a high respect for you, just like from the times that we linked up and we hung out, even when it came to like a business setting, I could see, dog can definitely road trip with the best of them, hang out, have a great time with the guys. But when it came to take care of your business, you was awesome. It was like that same enthusiasm and that same excitement that you have for being social and being showing off that level of your personality in a social setting. It also excelled within the business arena as well. One thing I can tell you, I've seen this guy get high regards for his academic achievement, and it was like not too many guys in our organization can do both. Some guys can be able to be very social and be stars in that light, and then you have some guys that can be, high achievers in academics and taking care of business. This guy is one of the guys who I can say he was able to do both.
I give that credit to my mom.
Yeah,
when
man.
I started playing sports, and I love football. I Started playing football at 12. And actually, my dad signed me up with football while my mom was out of state at a retreat. So when she came back home, your son got cleats and football, shoulder pads, and a helmet all over the house. She's like, what you done? Whatever, cool. So she knew I loved football without a shadow of a doubt. And I said, Mom, I love this sport. Like, I found the sport that I love and I want to do it. She said, cool, this is the catch. If you bring anything in my house that's in the B, you won't play football no more.
Oh, yeah.
That was the ground rules. So I knew I didn't care about nothing else but football first and then school. I told my mom the only reason I ever go to college is to play football because I didn't like school. You know, like school wasn't like, oh, let's go learn. You know, nah, I want to go play football. But that was a requirement in the house. B's, A's, or B's. Anything less than a B, you ain't playing. And I knew she meant it. So I just carried it on my whole life. Like, this is just the standard. I don't care how much you do this, your work got to get done. And if it can't happen, you need to slow down on this because you got to deal with your mama and they don't. So it just, I learned that balance from, I won't say a threat, but it was a promise from my mom.
Yeah.
So I just carried it in every facet. Like, you got to be balanced. You just can't lean one way.
Yeah. And I kind of want to use that to kind of shift gears into when we talk about some of the challenges that come with being a business owner. You know, since 2016, you've been in business for quite some time, and you've gone through, of course, a height of success that people admire. But what are some of those challenges that you've probably faced, and how you've been able to persevere?
The first challenge was just learning to be business organized. Like, being organized in business setting is not the same as just you being an organized person.
Yeah.
You know, like it's systems that you have to be in place. The first year of Powerhouse, I did that straight off. I know how to work. I know how to grind. I know how to hustle. I know how to put forth my best effort. And that's great. But without systems in it, you're really going to bring yourself to the ground with that type of mindset of, I got to work hard. Those systems that you put in place allows you to shine in different avenues and aspects of your brand, because you gauge the growth of your brand by your ability to back off of it and it still go. So at first it was just my hands, like, this is mine, you know what I'm saying? But as the years progressed, the evolution of your brand, in particular mine, I started seeing it develop more when I was able to back up. And I didn't have to work 7 days a week, 17-hour days. Then go sit down and think about branding and marketing. Oh, let's go get shirts. And what slogans you can put on the shirt. Oh, we gotta go sell this. Let's go to this business meeting. It's only 24 hours a day, and I was just all over the place. And I was like, well, I only have 2 hands, Mike. You gotta find different ways to put people in place so you can use some of their 24 hours too. Because you're at the top, so if the top go down, that's it. Nobody can replace you as Mr. Powerhouse in the brand. So, yeah, I just had to learn how to scale. It's organization. Actually being acceptable to help is a big thing, because it's your baby. You know what I'm saying? You don't want nobody coming in here playing around, and you got to stand over grown people and make them work. And nobody's going to love yours like you can love yours. So any false move, any false step, oh, no, you got to go. And that was the wrong mindset. And then I used to have the mindset of, I do it. So-and-so, did you do what I asked you to do? I ain't get it. I do it. That put me right back in the boat of year 1 again. When I had to do it because it wasn't no help. So being organized, learning how to put systems in place, and your system is going to vary to whatever industry and brand that you're in. But you will see the best development when you're able to put people in place in your brand to do the small stuff that you don't want to overstand anymore, that you hate doing. So you can be you. Products get people in the door. Personality keeps people in the door. it's no different between washing detergent, no different between Burger King and McDonald's. They all sell the same thing, but what's the catch? Who's selling it? It's a personality. People love personality more than anything. Well, how can you be you if you stretch so thin? Something's gonna break and fall. So that was one of the things I learned the hard way, and I tried to catch people in the beginning and say, hey, I was there. I know how you feel. I see the bags under your eyes. I see you're frustrated and you're trying to make it work. Okay, cool. I made that mistake in the beginning. If I can catch you early, I'm gonna show you how I did it at year 3. So your year 1 is what is my year 3. So you should outdo me because you already got the blueprint. So that's it. Organization, putting in systems, creating boundaries for yourself. I had to learn. I was so overgiving. You know what I'm saying? Just for the brand itself. Okay, whatever. I'll do that. Like, you gotta set standards for yourself. You know, at a point, because people will misuse you or treat you in the type of way if you let them. You know, though you're so genuine, you know, you want to just get it out there, but you just gotta know when to say when, so people can respect who you are and what's your place in your industry and your brand, and you just gotta stick with it. Shoot, that's about really the downside of it all. It's really not work to me. The only work part is the logistics. But now that I have extra hands on logistics, I get more time just to be Micah. And I get to be in my playground and training. So the faster you can get systems in, the faster that you can get quality people in to help you do what you need to get done, you'll see a great transformation in what you thought was supposed to be for your brand. Like, it'll supersede your every thought because you have more hours in a day now.
Let me ask this: what was that first thing you fired yourself from? That's the way I like to look at it. When you say, I can't do this no more, I need somebody else to do it. What was that first position?
Booking and scheduling. Oh my God. Websites. Merchandise. I just went marking my name off the list for all that. Man, I just want to train. That's it. That's what I love. Training. But of course, business is not just the product. It's the behind the scenes that runs the product. But man, having calendars, going to meetings all the time, like trying to make those connections, and then put training on top of all that, you like, man, I'm tired, y'all. Like,
it's a long day.
Zombie. I used to be a zombie.
So
yeah.
So I like the fact that you definitely express like the hardships of being the worker and the CEO of your business, because for those who are listening, I know a lot of people may or may not know, you also took time out to share the knowledge and share your experience through 2 books that you created.
Yeah.
You know, definitely want to go ahead and put that plug out there for you, man, because I've had the opportunity to, you know what I'm saying, of course, I bought the books myself right around the time when you put them out there. And I like 2 things I like about your books. For one, they're straight to the point. They have powerful lessons, but they don't take a lot of pages to get straight to the point and provide value.
Yeah.
You know, what made you take time out to publish those books, or even think about, hey, I want to write a book?
Because I love helping people. I didn't get this far in life being selfish. And I don't care how much game I give you, it's on you to execute the play. I can give everybody the same playbook. Everybody's gonna have a different result from the same playbook. You can have kids that have been 3 kids raised in the house with the same 2 parents. 3 kids gonna try 3 different ways. You know? So I didn't mind helping because I saw no threat to help. Like, a lot of people get to a certain status and say, I don't want to help nobody because I'm scared that you're gonna outdo me. I don't care. I'm in my own world. So the reason that I wrote the book was because nobody helped me as far as how I was thinking in my head. And once I started to see the way that I was processing everything and it was turning into revenue and it was making $1, I was like, cool, I'll give it to somebody. Because I don't want you to get so frustrated that you stop pursuing your dream because you ain't got no help. Nobody don't want to help you. You're lost. If you're around me and I can help you, you're not going to be lost. The only reason that your dreams around me won't come true is because you just failed to execute. Not that you didn't have the material, not that nobody was take the time out their day. Because people sat down and helped me, but the actual day-to-day stuff, oh, that was just me. Learning and trial and error. I'm like, okay, cool. So when I found a system that works, I don't mind sharing. So that's what I did with the first book, Find Your Fit. Actually, we're going to Find Your Fit. The first title was going to be Find Your Fit in Fitness, but I felt like that was just too narrow-minded, and I thought people was going to miss it. And now I realize when you read the book that the concepts I was teaching, you can stretch it. I don't care how you go.
Yeah.
It's concepts, because if you understand this, it'll trigger something in your brain. Okay, I can use this format for that. So Find Your Fit, it just helping you stay true to yourself in whatever you do. And learning how to dissect yourself as the boss and the CEO, and find different ways to take what you love and make money without being so stressful. It shouldn't be so, your passion shouldn't be stressful to make $1. Passions are easy. When you fight your passion, then you got a problem, right? Mm-hmm. So that was my first book, just Find Your Fit. And I was like, analogies. If you can understand this, you understand that. So that's all I was doing. This is what I did. This is where I took a calendar and I told you different months, your highs and lows. Well, if I did that in fitness, how much more could you do that in your industry?
Yeah.
You know, so you know how your money gonna flow. You know, how to get insured, how to protect yourself, all that. Well, you know, in any business, you gotta protect yourself at all costs.
Definitely.
You gotta protect your personal assets from your business assets. Not everybody take it off. So that was the first book. But then the second book, I wanted to get more into the mindset of a person. Because I don't care how much information a person can give you, if your mindset is not in a position to receive it, you'll miss it every time.
Definitely.
So it was like, okay, I did the business thing. That was cool. I don't mind. But how much more, Michael, can you give a person? Well, what more can I give a person besides help you change your mindset? If I can help you do that, oh, it's lights out for everything else. You'll knock it out of the park because you don't think the same. You know, so the second book was just restructuring a person's mindset to believe in what you want to believe in. I think we grow up, everybody does it. You grow up with the beliefs that others put on you, that you forget that you can think yourself. Parents tell you what career they want you to have. My baby's gonna be this. My baby's gonna be that. I got to drive this because that's the status quo. Man, listen, you have one life. It ain't no going back, time don't revert. It's a moving finger, right? You got to live for you. Everybody's opinion is just an opinion. But they don't have to go home with you at night and deal with your internal thoughts while you sit on the side of your bed and you contemplate. Dang, am I really happy? Are you really doing that? That's the person I want to talk to in the second book. Everybody got a poker face with the public world and the outside, high-fiving everybody. And then when you sit on the side of your bed with your lamp on, you go into this space and you lost. I want that person to find themselves in the second book. That way you can be unapologetic in your pursuit to your happiness. And don't care. And people are going to be like, oh, why you ain't listening to me? Because if I listen to you, I forget that I have a voice too. I got to say so. This mine. I appreciate the help if you're trying to help me, but the final say so on this life is me. And I'm going to do it with no regrets. Sad thing, I said in the second book, it's a sad thing to do, to get to your deathbed and realize you never lived. You only did what you were told to do.
Yeah, man. So, and I'm glad you mentioned about the importance of being the master of your time, because I'm pretty sure we all have family members or we have people in our inner circles who we either are watching daily not live their passion or not really go for what they want, or even have people who have gotten towards the tail end of their lives, and you, as before they kind of transition onto, quote unquote pass away, you can see that they have that look in their face where they like
They sick.
Yeah, yeah, like that's it.
That's hurts.
Yeah, and that's it because of physical ailment, but because of like you mentioned, they didn't live.
They just followed instruction your whole life, and not once did you listen to yourself.
Yeah,
not once. I used to teach with teachers, like you clock in, And you hear teachers moaning and groaning about being a teacher. Well, how long you been teaching? 30 years. What have you been doing? Like you're miserable for 30 years? Like you got 30 years to throw away? And you this miserable? You hate teaching, but you won't leave? Wow. Because you just do what somebody tell you to do. You're comfortable. Living unapologetically towards your passion is a very uncomfortable ride. Extremely uncomfortable. But you got to learn how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
I think to add to that, it's a lot of people that's not aware of that voice that speak to them. Because from just having different talks with different entrepreneurs, it's like they heard it that once and they said, okay, I listened to it. But when you talk to people who are in that position where they done worked at a job for 30 years, they're like, well, I never could find it. I never heard that whisper.
It's like finding keys. Stop looking for it. You know everybody knows their gift. Everybody knows it without a shadow of a doubt. It's something that you do so effortlessly. Like it's nothing. You just, and people listen to you. People rock with whatever you do, whatever your thing is. You know it because it don't take long for you to maneuver through it, and people just listen. They gravitate towards you. The energy come to you, and then you choose not to listen to it. You made a choice because you don't want to go through the beginning stages of a passion. You don't want to accept it and then realize that through that acceptance part of your passion, it's a lot of hardship because I got to see if you're ready. Because if it was smooth out the gate, when you get hit at year 3, you ain't gonna know how to take it. So you appreciate the long days. I appreciate it. I appreciate the 18-hour days. Eyes can't see. I'm sleeping on the wall. Client used to walk in some days, I'm sleeping under the fan. 6 minutes. Got my phone set. Wake back up, back to training. Leave church. Go back to the gym. Leave there, go back. I appreciate it. Because through all that, it taught me the lesson that I was supposed to get in the beginning. And I'm just grateful. Like you become so appreciative of the hard times, so when it's good, you appreciate all the bad. But if it's just easy out, nobody wants to go through that. That's why they stop listening. You don't want the broke feeling. You don't like the staying up late. You don't like the getting frustrated with yourself and then wake up the next day and get back to it. You don't want that battle. So I just rather be comfortable. I do the 9 to 5. Nothing wrong with the 9 to 5. But my problem with 9 to 5 people is if you're a 9 to 5 person and you're miserable, you need to change that. That's what I don't like, the miserable part. Now, if you don't want to be a boss and whatever, entrepreneurship, cool. It ain't for everybody. But miserable ain't for nobody. Being miserable is not for nobody.
And it's funny that you say that because we do this challenge. So every couple months I read too many books. That's the simple of it.
Same.
But I was reading a book and someone said something that kind of stuck out to me where he talked about passion and entrepreneurship. And he said a lot of people don't realize you can be an entrepreneur, but you can also be a great number 2. And he said everyone wants to be number 1. They want to be the top dog, but some people just shine at being the person that helps the top dog. And if you were to speak to somebody, because mindset is something I'm big on. If you were to speak to somebody that's come to that realization where they know in their mind, I'm an amazing, I'm a good shooting guard. I don't need to be the point. But they still fighting it. What would you tell that person to help them really just get into their lane? And you can see they'll shine if they just make the switch.
You have to find somebody that you're compatible with in your passion. Because if you don't have a helpmate in it, then you're gonna have to play point and shooting guard. What people forget is PowerHouse is not just me. It's me and my best friend Justin. Well, Justin in PowerHouse, he plays the number 2 by choice. He's a certified trainer. He's an occupational therapist. Got contracts with hospitals all over Atlanta, right? Alpha and Alpha. We both top dogs. He allows me to be number 1 because there's no threat of competition. We both shine together. We feed off each other. So if you don't have nobody to feed off of, who you gonna pass it to?
The team gonna lose at the end.
Yeah, you fight yourself. So if they're great at being a number 2, they need to find somebody who's great just like them, but have a better president at being number 1. Like, I talk better than Justin. So I talk more because that's not his strong suit. But you just got to have that relationship with your shooting guard. Find your point guard. It's a team. Find a point guard. We ain't got no point guard. You got to find one that work just like you, that love it just like you, and then allow them to shine as number one, and you just make the movie come together.
And it's funny that you mentioned that. A while ago, we talked on the podcast about a book called Rocket Fuel.
Yeah.
And it spoke on the relationship between the number one and number two. They called it the visionary and the integrator. And hearing you speak, it brought that book back to me where you said, I'm a better speaker. I'm better in the front as the visionary. I can, hey, look at me. We doing good stuff over here. Well, he works behind the scenes saying, okay, we are doing good stuff. Let's move this piece here. Let's move this piece there.
And that's how we work. We just feed off each other. Of course, it helped that we've been best friends for 21 years. But even in the business aspect, we took the friend, like, when it's business time, it's business time. When the best friend time, it's best friend time. But though that relationship helps the business aspect of it. So he don't mind. There's no egos in business. It shouldn't be, especially when y'all play on the same team. The objective as a team is to win. Okay, if you win and I win, we good. So it doesn't matter. And he's a beta alpha when it comes down to PowerHouses. He just cool. You ain't got to know me. When you see me, you see me. But you know it's more than just him. So I'm always reminding people, like, hey, when I talk interviews, I'm talking regardless. It's not just me. Because he'll see something. That's why it's good to have a number two. Because they can see something that you can't see. I look this way. He looks that way. We catch it all. You know what I'm saying? So, nothing wrong with being a number two. But you're going to have to find a strong number one.
Yeah, and that reminds me a lot of when me and Amar work together, because when we work on the podcast, he's more visionary. He sees it. I'm just, hey, just tell me which way you need me to go. Hey, just point me in. And even when we came in, you saw he immediately went to talking to you and said, I'm setting everything up. Hey, this is how we're going to shoot. This is how we're going to roll this.
Everybody know their role.
Yeah, but then it's funny because we work in multiple businesses together, but when we switch, it's the other way around. When we go into the other businesses, hey, let's move this way, let's go that way. And he's seeing, like you said, he's seeing all the stuff that I get tunnel vision on the vision, and he sees all the stuff that I'm missing.
Yeah, Justin is great with talking and speaking with and making business connection with other demographics of people than I am. Like, people see Justin and they draw to him, from different demographics. That's his thing. He can write good. And I switch, because of course we want business from everybody, not just one demographic.
Right.
So I know that about myself. I know that sometimes my physical presence can make people, I don't know, like he's stern and he's stern all the time. So Justin has that more. I can come talk to you.
Yeah.
I can walk up on you and say, hey, well, he's more approachable. I know this, even though I'm at number one. So now I become number two. And then I just listen and catch things. So if he missed something, I'm like, you heard them what they said, so-and-so, so-and-so? And then we go back and work on it together, and then we just flip back. So, there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah.
And I think I think when we talk about business, it's kind of funny where, like, I recognize this when back in, like, high school. High school, I was starting to build a business for myself, starting to get into the hustle mindset, the business mindset. One thing I realized about, especially people in certain settings, like when I'm with the fellas and we talk about sports or we talk about, pop culture or whatever, people are in that comfortable zone. People can really talk the talk and walk the walk. But when you take that, if you ask them to apply that mindset to business, it's like them reading a foreign language, because for them it's like certain things about not knowing your role, not knowing how to play your position, not knowing how to be a team player, especially in partnerships. I find it very interesting how people can't translate their togetherness in certain settings where they're comfortable into avenues where it's going to help you make money, build a business for yourself, build opportunity for yourself.
Because that's an uncomfortable place.
It's crazy.
Being social is one thing. Business is extremely uncomfortable. The behind the scenes stuff is uncomfortable. A lot of we don't have a lot of business education in our demographics, right? We're not taught that. We're not taught about finances and nothing. So to put people that talk about sports all day and say, hey, let's go read through all these documents and let's find a way to make some, of course it's foreign. You just got to find people that's receptive to the information. Say, hey, I want to.
Yeah.
They got to have a I want to, because if there's no desire, then you're talking to a wall. You know, everybody got to be on the same page. Everybody can't have the same role, but we all on the same page. You just on line 1, I'm on line 5 when it's time to read, so-and-so on line 7 when it's time to read, but we all reading the same story. That's how it got to be. So it's not uncommon to see people that can't do both.
Yeah.
Either they're going to be social or they're going to be on the other side. But if they have a desire, if you business on this side, but you want to be social, but you want to make that effort, then you need somebody that's social on that side to teach you, right? Same thing on the business side. If I have the desire to want to do business and learn and to grow. Without that, I don't care what you try to do. You can say, hey, if you take this mindset and put it over here, it ain't going to click because they don't want to. They don't want to.
Yeah, man.
So let me ask this. Your team is doing it big and doing a lot.
I'm proud of it.
What's some of the things that you guys have coming up? And you don't have to tell us nothing that ain't been released yet, but what's the things you want everybody to know, what's coming up, what they should keep their eyes open for?
I have a fantastic merchandise manager who's also been my best friend for 9 years. We got a merchandise website coming out, so no more of me having to take t-shirt orders and asking your size and your colors and all that. We do have a boot camp tomorrow. That's free for the public here at the gym. I'm thinking about book number 3. I kind of just let my words come to me. I don't force write when I write. I just let the words come and write a chapter and let it come. I let my book piece itself together. I'm thinking about book 3, but if it's meant to be, I'm sure I'll get assigned to write book 3. That's pretty much about it. That's out the gate right now. Just really fine-tuning everything now that we have more hands-on the staff. Going back and looking at prior years to see some of the good and the bad that happened, so we can make sure going in 5 years and plus that those ways that were bad, we fixed it and moving forward. So it's really just, I want to say my year 5 is just a revision year. 5 years of work, you know, all the things that did work, all the things that started to work, but I didn't know it at the time. Maybe we can sit down and the team say, hey, this is why, you know, that plan didn't work, or that idea didn't jump off the way you wanted to. So to me, year 5 is just my revision year of the craft on the business side, and just freeing my hands up. Just free your hands up as much as possible this year, so I can continue to be the visionary at 100% and not 40 to 30 because I'm tired. You know, if I'm a visionary, which I know that I am, then I need to be the best visionary for the brand as possible and not feel like something behind me is going to go wrong if I don't have my hands on it. So, yeah, this is probably the most fun that I had so far. Being excited, like, wow, I finally got help, like, wow. So, that's about it. For the most part, yeah. Anything else, I'm sure we'll let y'all know.
Well, man, I just want to say thank you
Thank y'all, man.
for doing the interview. You dropped some real gems, and when you was talking, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I would say, dog, first off, congratulations on 5 years, man.
Appreciate it.
5 years, a lot of businesses, they start strong, or they, despite how they may start, keeping it going past 5 years is a challenge within itself. And I was that's one of the things that Jared and myself we talked about. We represent our business, so definitely, man, congratulations on 5 years, man. I would say that this is something that we want to continue to build with you. Because we definitely are in a journey of building a community of hustlers. Definitely, so we want to start here locally within the state of Georgia, Atlanta, wherever, and just keep growing. So as you continue to build your powerhouse and we continue to build ours, if there's any way that we can continue to trade off and work with each other,
Man, just let me know.
Gotcha.
We can take it from there. Just
yeah,
let
man,
me know.
definitely, bro. Man, it's a pleasure, man.
Man,
This is
enjoy it.
Jared.
This is Amari.
This is Mr. Powerhouse.
Peace.